Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Ignite Your Heart and Soul, right here at selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My guest today, all the way from Australia, is Stephen Chong. We're going to be talking about his new book. He says, now you know what will happen. The laws of heaven and earth. He's talking about his book called The Afterlife. Well, many people don't believe in the afterlife. They think that once we're done, and that's it, turn to dust. But there is so much more to actually understand. He says, serendipitously discovered within the text of the afterlife, a journey to, now you know what will happen, and the laws of heaven and earth provide a pathway for a richer and more fulfilling life in this life and the eternal next. The Afterlife was written after a profound spiritual awakening, near-death experience. The author, Stephen, now shares with us these gifts with passion and purpose that all may benefit from the divinely inspired wisdom. And, when we look at books like this, and it is actually something that being brave about, because a lot of people do ridicule or do,
Mm.
and I'm a dimensional traveler myself, and I know that I've been in many different realms, and I've been here for a long time because soul keeps coming back for a purpose, for a journey to teach humanity, and to think that there is no afterlife and that's the end of it. It would be, then why are we existing? So why are we existing, Stephen? What have you learned from your near death that has shown us what our purpose is here and why it took an afterlife to do it?
Oh, Sarah, now there's a very profound question. Let me give you the background to how this unfolded. It was about almost 4 years to the day. I I fell off a roof. I fell just as you do when you get in your 60s, you get up and clean the roof.
I keep telling my brother to get down off the roof. You're not a young'un
Mm,
anymore.
yeah, good idea. Well, I fractured my neck. Uh, But what happened on the day, it was, the gods were to favour
Mm,
because, where we are situated here, we're very remote and there's no near neighbours, but it just so happened that my wife was here on the
mm,
particular morning. And she, of course, come to my rescue, and here we stand, and I'm all good, no physical effects. But the profound experience, and again, by way of background, prior to that, I'd shut down, retired, no
mm.
more books, no, I'm done. So
Yeah.
you leave me alone. I'm ready to plant tomatoes in the garden.
And
But
God laughed.
no, yeah, God had a good laugh at that. Um, but uh, but the depth of the experience is not like a traditional NDE. You float off and see
Mm,
aspects of what heaven provides. But in my case, I'm on the couch in rehabilitation. I can barely move. I'm good
mm,
for nothing for months and months. And I had the title buzzing like a hamster wheel in my head
mhm.
going around. And I knew what it was. And I said, go away. Leave me. Leave me alone.
I'm not interested.
You know the feeling. But, eventually I've acquiesced. Okay, to the universe, you want me to write this thing? Okay, I'm in. I will. So with that mm, burden of choice, if you will, when I was able, I sat down in front of the PC, and so it
Yeah.
was extraordinary. I had no storyboard, no character, nothing.
Mhm.
I knew the afterlife. What do I know?
Mhm.
so I've sat and it was just like I
pouring
I
through you.
I saw it,
Yeah.
heard the dialogue,
Yes.
heard the music, and saw the colours, and I just started to write. It was autotelic in many ways, uh, so I just wrote what I was given, the gift
Yeah.
that I was given, and that's how it transpired. And the whole thing took oh 3 weeks to
Mm-hmm.
write.
Mm-hmm.
It was like every time I sat. I trusted implicitly that I never knew what was coming. I had
No,
no idea,
isn't that
no
fun?
idea. I trusted implicitly that it would be there,
Yes.
and so it was. And therein lies the book's evolution.
Hmm. I mean, conduit writing, that's what we call
Yes,
that. So just
yes,
channeling. You're getting out of your own way and you're just channeling. And then I call that the knowingness as well. You know,
yes,
the soul or channel heart opens up, it resonates with the heart and truth. It gives it to the spirit to go into action for your mind to know what you need to know right in
yes,
the now. And that's the
yes,
knowingness. And it's so utterly divine,
yes.
right? When it comes through you and you read back or you look back at what you've done and go, this brain didn't think this up.
No, no, I couldn't have made I couldn't have made any of it up in the while if I was on drugs, and
Yeah.
I'm not. I could not have done it. But it's just a beautiful gift.
Yes.
But I've got to tell you something else, which was amazing. Uh, it was about 3 months after the book had been completed, and I mean, you would be well aware. You go into this edit phase,
Yes. Which takes so much
so
longer.
and I know not where a comma goes, but that's yeah, it's beside the point. I I'd read this thing 100 times in edit,
Yeah.
and but then you get the voices in my head going, "Stephen, you've missed something.
Mm.
Read it again." I'm like, "What? What?
Aren't we done yet?
Aren't we done it here?" And I read it again, and honestly, it was like reading a page with where you get like a highlighter yellow or coloured
Hmm. Yes.
highlighter
Yeah.
over a print, and I found that's what I saw when I read the words again, and I found these, as you described before, the laws of heaven and earth,
Yeah.
and I found 15 of them, and they have been such a wonderful gift
Hmm.
to learn and know. I mean, the only thing I could wish that I had learnt them at
Yes.
27, not 67.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm
that's
with you there. You know, old and wise. Why can't we have some wisdom young? You know, why do we
yes,
have to get old for it?
yes, absolutely. But so be it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing about a book. This is why I say a book is always, it keeps on giving. You read it in one state of mind. You can revisit it and you're in a different state of mind. Different things come up. And, you know, I'm one of these people that'll just go to a book. What do I need to know? Open up, and there's words there, a chapter or something there. Ah,
Hmm.
very poignant. That's what I needed to know today. And that is
Yes,
the allowing, because along with the knowingness is the allowing, because
yes,
the knowingness needs permission to come through
yes,
you. And that's the allowing. I surrender. I am your vessel.
yes,
And what is it I need to know in this moment? That is poignant to the moment.
correct.
And, you know, as I said, if we come from our brain, we're coming from data,
Mm,
we're coming from programming. But when we're coming from the soul, we're coming
mm.
from a divine truth that can't be questioned.
Absolutely. That's it exactly. And I've mused often the since writing the book and the accident and the like, why it was given to me in such a form. Because there are so many beautiful people that describe their NDE and how they
Yeah.
float off and they come back and see things, and that's all wonderful. But my understanding now with this book is, those traditional NDEs, if you will, are very objective from
Mm,
the reader's point of view. It's somebody else's
yes.
experience that they say, and that's wonderful to
Mm,
learn these things. But when one reads a book of this nature in story form, you're able to, I mean, you could read it literally, as you say, and go, well, yes, that's good, that's bad, I don't like. But you can read it to find
yeah.
at a depth. And
Yes.
it's a mystical connection, as
Yeah.
you well describe. And then it opens up your inner
Yeah.
truth and you go, Oh, I've got that. That's me.
Yeah.
And you find points in the text that go, oh, that's wonderful. And then you apply it to your life and make life a better place.
It's the process of life. If we were given all the answers all at
Mm,
once, and we haven't reconfigured our programming or our brain to receive it, we don't really actually understand what we're receiving. So
hmm.
by reading something, it opens up the door and you absorb that knowledge. Come back to
Yes,
it, open the door a little wider. Oh no, I'm actually seeing that. And then you keep
yes,
opening that door, and then layer by layer by layer reveals itself. And then you
yeah,
actually understand the wisdom that is being given you, right?
yes,
Because now you know what to do with that wisdom. That's what wisdom is for. It's for you to step
yes,
into action, that
yes,
illumination of that beautiful
yes,
divine knowledge. So
yes,
we have to allow that process.
mm,
This is read one chapter at a time before you go into another and digest it.
yeah,
How does it, I've got a motto here: listen, learn, and apply. That's what my shows are about. Listen, learn,
yeah,
apply. It's the same with a book. Read,
yes,
learn, and then reflect upon yourself of what
mm,
this actually means to you. And that
yes,
means you've digested that chapter before you go on to another.
yes,
I am a person, when I get into a book, leave me alone, don't talk to me. I want to read it to the end. I'm one of those people, I get lost in it,
yeah,
right? But I love a book that even afterwards I'm still digesting, and then I'm still recalling, and it still
mm,
has an effect on me.
mm.
And I can go back and revisit it through different eyes. All the words that I've read come up, and now, oh, I get what he meant there, right? And it
Ah,
comes to you. And I think
yeah,
that is again the allowing. We're taught that we've got to get to the finish line. And people don't understand it is the beautiful journey of life, one foot in front of the other. And the
correct.
experience of life is what you're here for.
Yes, yes. And the interesting thing is, Sarah, and I've only come to realize this of recent times, it's the feeling attached to what you've
Yes,
intellectually experienced that
yes.
stays with you.
Well,
It's
feel to
it's
think, feel to think.
yes,
Don't think to
yeah,
feel.
there you go.
Yeah,
That exactly.
yeah,
And that reading or that passage or whatever has evoked a
yes,
sensation, a beautiful feeling in you, a goodness that you can access because it's in there,
yeah,
and then you can access it whenever you so choose.
yes,
A-
yes,
and that and that feeling, because you've accessed it, because of the laws of attraction, the universe says have more.
yes. You're open. You're ready to
You're
receive.
open.
I'm ready
Yes,
to download.
that's it.
Yeah. But again, it's not,
Absolutely.
where in this database of the brain, we have everything that we've been taught. We have this lifetime, past lifetimes, we have many lifetimes of information in there. But half the time we're extracting the wrong information to do the what we think is the right thing.
Mm,
Again, I always say to people, feel your knowledge. When
mm.
your breath, your heart, and your soul feel it, it just
Yeah,
is. It
it
just
is.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
you know it to be that truth. And you know what it is there to me. Even sometimes you don't know why you know what you know.
You
I,
know.
I
Yeah,
don't know what I'm meant to do with this, but I know it,
know
and
it.
it
Mm.
will be revealed.
Yes,
Again, don't try and overanalyze everything. Sometimes just feel the feeling and the meaning will
yes,
come through.
yes, yes, absolutely. And you know what? I remember you speaking, on one of your podcasts a month or so ago about that goal setting
Mm,
process, which I think is so magnificent. But to me, the setting of, so many people set a goal
yeah.
and then fall at a hurdle
Yes.
because it becomes a bit challenging or too difficult.
Yes.
But I think what you're saying, most correctly, is that we attach to the feeling of when you achieve that goal, to feel what it is like to
Yes.
achieve that goal,
Yes.
but hold on to the feeling
Well, that's
because the
how,
feeling attracts you.
that feeling is energy. Right.
Yes,
That is
yes,
the
that's it.
frequency you're sending out to the universe. That's the frequency which they operate you on. If you're
Yeah.
feeling lack or feeling doubtful or feeling fearful, that is the energy that's being matched. So when we step
Hmm.
into feeling wonderment, I'm feeling I've been given a vision,
Hmm.
and it's not all meant to be come to fruition, boom, boom, boom. I don't even know what order it's going to go in. I
Mm.
know the vision is right. I know that what you've shown me is very achievable. But
Yes.
who, how, with whom, when?
Yeah.
is the earthly journey. I mean, this particular thing we just talked before we went on the show, I've just written my own memoir. It's up on the ebook right now. I've still got to go and put it up in paperback and audio. And then I'm also in three anthology books, and one of them is a book that we're doing called a Forgotten Children book series.
Mm.
And I've been trying to do this for quite a while, but it was always the wrong people. And then all of a sudden, I want to do this. Oh, really? I'd love to do that. We've got 14 chapters along with my own, and I could have had more people in it. So there will be another book down the road
Yes.
of people understanding what it means and how they wanted to be a part of it. Suddenly the energy, the chorus came together. It wasn't
There
just
you
my
go.
song anymore, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
How
now,
amazing is that?
it's beautifully coming together. Yes, it's had some hiccups, just like a computer, it has hiccups. Um, Coordinating 13 other people is not always easy, but I know that this is going to be one of those books that opens up and opens up and opens up people's minds and hearts
Mhm.
and
Mm.
souls. And that once you know, you can't unknow.
Yes.
So now care,
How?
right?
Yeah,
Because
that's
care will
exactly
put you
right.
into action. But I had to wait, and because this is also leading to all the other things, the educational
Mm.
platform, which will be Ask the Author, or
Yeah.
a platform, or even ask the guest, the podcast guest, a question over their topic. I'm branching out on onto that.
Yeah.
Like I'm branching out in TV. Everything's happening at once.
Yeah.
So I also did
Eh,
another show with all the balls up in the air. Which ball is important right now? The other, I'll get to you, but
yep.
this one was in line first.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's almost a state of non-doing
Yeah,
because you're in that flow of feeling. You feel that
yeah,
what excitation or wonderfulness or whatever it is that you're feeling, which is great and good. And then so you're in that flow. So you don't have to worry or concern or go out and strive. It comes, it happens because that's the universe supplying what you need the most.
yes, yes. Because by doing that, we're actually stepping into our purpose of why we're here.
Mm.
We're actually being the instrument, the contributor that we're meant to be.
Hmm.
Another analogy I always draw is that, discover your own instrument, learn how to play it, be a soloist, but then
Mm.
join an orchestra when each one of you and your own strengths come together harmoniously to
Yes,
transcend the music, right? So
yes.
we are, what are we here for? Now you've written other books as well,
Yeah, this is number 6 now.
right?
But but I
But
was
totally different this one compared to all the
oh
others.
yes, oh very different. Very, very different. The others were, I guess you would call my apprenticeship. This,
Hmm.
this one's a masterpiece. Um, but yes, yeah, it's part of my DNA to
Hmm.
write. But as I say, as before, I'd shut down and said to the universe, "No more, please leave me alone." Stephen, you've got more to do. You're
You're not dead yet. We've still
you're
got more
not
use
dead
for
yet.
you. Yeah. Like you see, I'm
uh,
69. Why are you giving me all of this now? Why couldn't you give it to me all those years ago where I had more energy? And it's like, no, we're with you. We're with you. This
yeah,
is going to happen, right?
yeah, absolutely. But Sarah, it's really interesting. It's totally empowering.
Yeah.
There's like it's a crucible inside that says, go forward,
Yeah.
talk to nice people on podcasts, do whatever you need to do, write your books, gather
Yeah.
the people, and it's yes, when we're old and we older and where energy levels
Hmm.
are, are, are not as they were in younger years, but that it's like a divine purpose that
Yeah.
ignites, isn't it? It's like
Oh,
a
God.
pilot light that's there.
That's why this particular genre is called Ignite Your Heart and Soul. Because when you
There you go.
ignite your heart and soul,
Yeah.
they are the generator, they are the compass.
Mm.
And they're the ones that put the spirit into action. They're the ones that
Yes.
give the mind
Yes.
the information that it needs. And it is a state of beingness, not doingness.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Yes. Yes. And one of the many things I've learnt from the writing of the book is that we are never separate from the divine.
Never.
They are all always there to assist or guide or whatever it is.
If we
But
open
so we
our
need to
connection,
there you go. Need to
right?
tune in.
We have to
Yes, and
tune in.
listen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
kind of, like, back in the day where we had radio knobs and we would, turn those knobs to get to the channel. And now
Mm,
everything's digital. And it's rather kind of like the Harry Potter movies where, the 9.5 station in between
mm,
stations, right?
mm.
And that's kind
Yes.
of where you need to be,
Yeah.
where digital takes you one or two. Well, what about the 1.5?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. 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 And isn't it so that, we used to, we get out of bed and we do our ablutions and get on with things. We're in a constant state of agog doing
Yeah.
things. We don't take 5, 10, 15 minutes to tune into the feelings of abundance,
Mm.
connect, tune that radio dial to the right frequency, as you say, and then go about our our business as it presents itself.
With more clarity.
Hmm.
That's the thing is that,
Hmm.
a lot of people meditate when they first get up, and that's kind of tuning in the channel,
Hmm.
right? Is opening up that channel for that guidance for the day to go and do what they need to do without wasting a lot of time by flapping their wings,
Yeah,
right? Uh,
correct. Yes. Yeah. And what puts us in that flow, that beautiful love energy, which is what it is.
mhm.
So we're not fighting against the stream. We're trying to create things that are not purposeful at the minute. We're just in that flow and we're feeling that essence within us, which is abundance.
It is. But people, talk about abundance as a money account, but I said that enrichment and soul abundance is the biggest currency you can ever have.
Hmm.
And that,
Hmm.
money is just a tool.
Yes,
And it is a tool to use it to in order to enrich the enrichment of that abundance that you now
correct.
share up. Your cup runneth over and you share out with everyone else. And
Yes.
we as human beings have been taught to look at that. The outside living is more important than the inside living.
Hmm.
And we know that not only coming
That's
from connection to universe with our own heart and soul and spirit,
yes.
walking in clarity and purpose, that
Hmm.
we truly actually understand the enrichment.
Yes.
And
That's it.
and that outside watching everybody like chickens with their heads cut off chasing something, just sit down, be calm, breathe, and let
Hmm.
it download.
Yes. That's it. That's the answer. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's a wonderfully divine process, and isn't it? It's more than knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know this stuff intellectually,
yeah.
but again, now you experience it, and obviously you feel it. Uh, and let me give you uh, uh, an event that happened this year after writing the book, which is really pertinent. In April this year, I lost my beautiful mother.
Mm,
Now she was 84 and she was in robust health for many years, and her death came as a quite a
surprising.
surprise. But you know, as a ever since I can remember as a boy, I always felt that like, Mum, when you go, I'm not hanging around. I'm not staying because I mean you're such a beautiful being.
Hmm.
She's helped so many people. And when you go, I want to go where you go.
Hmm.
In my simplistic male head. Um, but since her passing, now now one feels grief for her
Of course.
her not the she loss of presence, but
Yeah, the loss
in
is what it means to you, not to her. She's just
yes,
gone
that's right.
home. She's fine.
She's gone
It,
home. She's fine.
yeah, so it's
But the
you, the loss that you have of the connection, physical connection here.
physical connection. But uh, I know exactly where she's gone in
Hmm.
the heavenly realms.
Hmm.
I know where to find her in this place
Yes,
centered in the heart there. And I know how to connect with her. I know she's there.
yes.
So whilst there's grief in the loss of physical presence, the the grief is totally empowering.
Hmm.
It says, Stephen, go forward.
Yeah.
Do things. I
Yes.
will be there. You need me, you call.
Yeah.
So go and do what you're meant to be doing. Be purposeful.
Yeah.
And there it and so it has been.
And it's interesting because I've actually interviewed a lot of people that have lost very close relatives and in some of them children. And I think, parents' worst nightmare is to
Mm,
have your child go before you go,
mm,
especially in particular circumstances. But the beauty of all of these people is that they allowed their child to come through them
Hmm.
and guide them, and then do something on behalf of that child, a
Hmm.
foundation, a charity, or something in
Beautiful.
their name, and
Yes.
feel the presence of that child within them to go and do something meaningful and purposeful, because in that way they still live on.
Isn't that beautiful?
Hmm.
So I've got to tell you one of the places I was taken to in the writing of this
Hmm.
book was a remember, and this character, main character is called Bathar,
Hmm.
and I'm seeing through his eyes, and he's taking me on this journey, showing me things, and I'm doing the transcribing. And one of the places we got taken to was this building, and don't think like a house
Yeah,
building, just think Greco-Roman, majestic,
right.
marble, alabaster type building. And I'm with a guide, and we go into this building. I've got to tell you, even now I think about it, the the love I felt when I
Mm.
walked into this building was it was extraordinary. It was like being wrapped in a warm blanket on a freezing cold
Oh,
night. That's how it
yeah.
was. So walked into this building, and there's all these rooms, and there's these beautiful angelic beings in there. And what I remember, most of them were dressed in this blue, beautiful blue color. And don't think blue as we see it. Think 10
Shimmery,
times the
oystery
colors.
type blue. Yeah.
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 And I turned to the guy and said, What is this place? And we go into the rooms, and these angelic beings are nurturing babes in arms,
Mm.
young souls. And so I turned, what's happening? And what was described to me was that every child that is leaves the earth plane early, without exception, is so beautifully nurtured by the Heavenly Father and his angelic hosts. Every child is brought to the prime of their spiritual health,
Hmm.
well-being in this place. No, even if the bond between the child and the parent is somewhat fractious, no soul, no child soul is left behind. Every soul, child soul, is beautifully nurtured by the angelic host.
And ready to go back with that beautiful clarity and wisdom
Oh,
to,
that's a good question.
because that's what I
Um,
feel we do. And I think, what we're seeing today, we're seeing children so
mm,
profound, so gifted,
yes.
so understanding. We call them indigo kids. But what I'm seeing in these children is teaching us,
Hmm.
they've come here with that, without the contamination of
Mm,
the human mind and all its shoulds, you must, you've gotta. Um,
yeah.
it's come with it, but it just simply is.
Mm,
And they're so profound and they're so gifted, and they have become in many ways the leaders, showing
hmm.
us which way to go. And it comes through in forms of talent, because
Mm,
it's through them exposing their talent that we're seeing them differently.
yes.
So
Yes.
I think that soul is being enriched. Yes, you have to go back, but
Yes.
you're going to go back fortified.
Interesting. I must tell you though, in within the writing of the book, and I've been asked a number of times about reincarnation,
Mhm.
and I did not see any, or was not, pardon me, did not was not shown any aspects of reincarnation in the book. Now, I mean, like you, I believe that that's very much a part of our journey.
Oh
But in
God,
the
yes,
book, there's
many
no,
lifetimes.
yes, yeah, absolutely. There's no reference to reincarnation in the writing of the afterlife. What is absolutely clear through the writing is that love is the bridge.
Yeah.
If you so love that child or your
Mhm.
kin, your parent, whoever, that love is the ultimate connection and is eternal.
Yeah.
It can't be severed. And that's the bridge of that love bridge is the communication that helps, that links you to that person.
Yeah.
And so you're divinely connected because that love is the bridge.
Well, that love is that higher frequency.
Hmm.
You can't, when you're in that high frequency of love, knowingly do any harm to anyone else. To do so would be to harm yourself in more
Correct.
ways than one. And
Correct.
that love is the healing and the creative. It is where
Mm.
we see what truly it's the abundance, how truly to enrich each other's lives. And we let
Yes.
go of ego, we let go of fear, we let go of control,
Hmm.
we let go of insecurity.
Mm.
And because that's a human condition. And we
Yes.
have a pandemic of human condition right now of people in that
Right.
insecurity. And I
Mm.
think part of it, and I don't know because I haven't read the book all the way through yet, but whether they address the shifting of the loving energies right now, with more and more of us stepping into the love vibration, and really, um, how do I put this? Universal love and ourselves, the souls combining.
Hmm.
Because as if we're just living as humans, we're almost humanoid and we're more robotic and programmed and to repeat over and over
Hmm.
again. But when we merge with the divine, the soul is ignited and we're allowing the
Yes.
universe to partner with us.
Yes.
Now, all those
Yes.
lives that have been before, all that wisdom that we need, it's like an enormous database of exactly what you need. And
Yes.
it will come through you to live
Hmm.
again and
Yes.
to step up and be that love
Hmm.
that is the healing component for the world.
Yes. There you go. But interesting you say that because and I'll read this to you, one of the laws of heaven and earth says, and it's number 13, if ever there was separation, oh, pardon me, the wrong one. To know, number 12, to know that you are sacred is not to see new things in you, but to see yourself as you really are.
Mm, yes. We sell ourselves so short in trying to be what
Oh,
everybody else
absolutely.
expects us to be that we don't
Yes.
realize the light we are seeking is already
Is
within,
there? Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And what you were saying before about that feeling, that love that we feel for others and for our kin and our children is not something we have to bring in. It's not something that
No.
we have to purchase. It's
Ignite.
a part of it. We
Yes.
ignite it. Yes.
Yes.
There you go. So,
Yeah. Because that's the thing, we are everything we need.
mhm.
If we can get out of our own ego intellectual way, all
Yeah.
right, and we can trust that divine truth and that
Mm,
it's a different form of ego. It's a
mm,
sense of, I'm not even sure if there's a word, because the word pride and ego have been given such a bashing, but it is
mm.
a self-accomplishment of knowing
Yes.
that I've opened up to be able to share this gifted ability to
Hmm.
enhance and illuminate somebody else's life.
Mm. Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And maybe, thinking about it, we have these self-imposed barriers
Hmm.
that we think we're not worthy, or
Yeah.
we're too big, we're too short, we're too fat, too skinny, we're
We're
too
just two.
something, we're too or and we're afraid of our own
Shadow.
you know ability to succeed.
Yeah, I know.
So but
Yeah.
when we let that stuff go,
Yes.
then that channel opens up to say, hey, Stephen or Sarah, here's the gift.
Yes.
It's here for you.
And that's where we see beyond just the human realm, just
Hmm.
beyond the human containment. We are spiritual beings having a human existence. The
Absolutely.
spirit is kind of here to ignite us to another level. Also, when what the spirit loves, what the soul loves, is the fact that we can touch, we can hold, we can
Mhm.
taste, we can feel, we can express ourselves in a different way, in a flesh format, a
Mhm.
matter format that the spirit doesn't have. So it's an experience for the spirit to have in the human
Yes.
body as well. So when you allow the
Yes.
two to come together, unbreakable.
Yes. Yes. So there you go. Yeah. As we mentioned before, we get in that
Yes,
flow that is always there, never absent, 24/7. So we connect with that flow, and then a state of non-doing says, watch it unfold.
yes. But we have to have trust, faith,
Mhm.
and patience,
Mm.
right? Those three things are very, very important. Trust in the divine, because I mean, let's face it, anybody that has become an enlightened person on the TV, they've made it into an evil cult, right?
Mhm.
You've got
Mhm.
religion saying, no, you can only get to God through us, right? And
Yes.
you've got other societies all about I'm going to keep you down because that's where
Mhm.
I can control you. And to step into this is a leap of faith. I always say, take a leap, blind, deaf, and dumb, in order to see, hear, and feel. And
Yes.
there is a trust in that. There is a belief in that, and it is a surrender to that.
Correct.
And we've got to get to that place in order to do that. And then
Mm.
the big question you have after that is, why the hell didn't I do it earlier?
There you go. Well, maybe it's because if we've been told that we are bad or
Mm,
unworthy or a sinner
mm,
often enough,
hmm.
we're probably going to believe that.
Yes.
And that creates this barrier
Yeah,
between, I mean, God forbid, not one of us on earth has not made a mistake or done something stupid.
exactly. That's human.
That's very human. But to know that we are of a divine essence, as you say, a human body in a divine experience.
Yes. And that's such a, I mean, from writing the book, the revelation that you've had yourself,
Mm.
that awakening that you've had yourself. Um, yes, you've read the words and they've made you feel differently, but how are you living differently now because of the book?
That's an amazing question. I've got to tell you, yesterday, a beautiful experience. I had my three boys up for Christmas holidays, and we were sitting down having a boy talk, um, and they were discussing relationships and how to manage them and all this sort of stuff. And I said to them, boys, don't be afraid. Fe and the law of heaven and earth says, fear not, you are never without the love of the Father.
Exactly.
But I said, whatever engagement you have, with your important relations, don't be afraid. Just
Mm.
engage, connect with yourself.
Yeah.
Get calm, be centered, but engage without fear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, and I live that now
Mm.
in my own daily life. 67 years old and snow on the roof. Wish I had learned it 50 years ago.
Because I've got a lot of blizzard going on.
But so the other really profound experience I have now as a consequence of writing this book is I have no fear of what is going to happen, no fear of the passing. I
Right.
know I know what
Yes.
happens. I know where we go.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's all love.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I've been one of these people in life that when they lose somebody, I'm one of the first people they call. And even when my father died, I was 11, and my mother came to tell me, and I thought, at last, he's gone, he's released.
Hmm.
And then it was like, oh, I feel so guilty for feeling that way, and I forced myself to cry, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt, oh, if I don't cry, what kind of person am I? And
Yeah.
and then I went to my mother and I said, God took the one that was the weakest and left the one that was the strongest.
Mm,
And I had no idea, I mean, just out of my mouth, right? Completely. But for me, um, I used to say I worked for death, quote,
mm,
because when spirits were crossing over and they may not see that light, not know where to go,
mm.
I was there to show them. And for a long time, people would come into my psyche, and it would be, you're lost. Just
Yes.
follow this route. Yes, follow that light. Oh, no, maybe you're meant to go back. And you have no
Mhm.
choice on who comes to you, no
Yes.
choice when, whom, where. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. It just comes to you. And but death for me is not anything I fear. I
Mm.
don't want to die painfully. That's more of a
No.
human thing. But I
Yes.
also don't want to die before my time because I've got things to do which I started later in life. And so,
Hmm.
figure maybe if I'm lucky, I'm 69, I might have 20, 21 years if I'm good. And if I die during an interview, I'll be happy.
Don't do that now, please.
But
uh,
yes, death is just a going home.
yes.
It's the end of whatever opportunity I have as a human to do the work, to do the soul's work here now, right?
Hmm.
But when that time's come and that chapter and the end of that book comes of my life here,
Mm.
I'm going to take all the enrichment of what I've achieved and or who I am and take that up into the universe. And
It's a
whether
beautiful
that
thing.
soul information comes back to guide another vessel or to step into another vessel, that will be decided. But
Yes.
I've got unfinished work, so not ready yet. But at the
Not
same
ready
time,
yet. Yeah.
when it does come, it's okay.
That's it. Yeah. Let me find it again, Sarah, because there's another law. But here it is, number 11. Fear at the time of passing closes the soul to all the awaiting love and compassion.
Yes. Now, I had a deaf doula on. She's a deaf midwife. They used to have a birthing midwife and a deaf midwife, and it was very commonplace. They would be
Mm,
there at the person's crossing, helping them smooth, calmly cross over, help with the people, the loved ones left behind. And a
yes.
whole thing of, you know, of just saying what you need to say,
Hmm.
either at the passing afterwards, but honoring the people's journey, just as we celebrate the birth, but celebrate the passing and all that
Yes.
they've meant to us. And the somewhere along the line, the midwifery people cut that out and said, no, you
Ah,
can't do that anymore. So there's a few of them that are around. I've had a couple of them on here. But I think it's a beautiful way to go. And the worst thing you can do around someone who's dying is scream, don't
yeah.
go, come
Oh,
back.
yeah, yeah,
That's,
yeah.
yes, if it's somebody before the time, yes, you know you're in anguish. They've been robbed before you think their time. But it's always when you come here as a soul, you sign a contract. You know how long you're here
Yes.
for, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but why can't we be around someone's bed when they're crossing over and just give them an abundance of love?
Yes.
Thank you for this, thank you for that. I love you. I love memories of this or that, and let them go in that beautiful vibration.
Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I must tell you that my lovely wife has just she retired from work in the hospital and is starting such a service. I don't know.
Wonderful.
We call it a doula service here,
Yes.
but that's what it is.
Yes,
Yes.
a deaf
She's,
doula or a deaf midwife, it's both the
mm,
same thing, and I think it's a beautiful way to go. And then
mm,
obviously, that's a luxury when you can do that with somebody that is crossing over because you know they are not, and some people die suddenly, but we have a period of time when they die suddenly that their body, the soul has not left their body, where we can
mhm.
still help them. And we have so many people dying catastrophically right now and severed
Oh,
that
mm,
they don't have that chance to
mm,
ascend in that peace because
yes.
it's traumatic. And I think that these become the lost souls that don't know how to connect even in another lifetime. So it's
Yes.
very important that we help people when they cross over to cross over with
Yes.
love.
Yes. 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 And you mentioned it before, and it was very interesting. In the book, this main character, Athar, by way of background, he in his life, as a child, he was abused under the auspices of the clergy,
Mm,
and later on in his life, he took his own life. So he was stuck, and I saw them as these mists. He was stuck in this purgatorial
mm,
state by all the anger and the shame and the guilt that he felt. He couldn't release himself
yeah,
from this state. He couldn't see the light that was
right.
there. There was a divine light shining there, but he couldn't see it. And it was only when he was able to forgive
Mm,
himself and others that have perpetrated
right.
bad things to him that he saw the light and went, oh, and that light took him forward into the heavenly realms.
Yeah, I mean, that forgiveness you talk about is very, very hard for human beings. The hardest thing is to forgive yourself. Yeah, I've done
Mm,
so many stupid things and like, I'm here because I deserve it. I made my bed, and I've got to sleep in it. And those are all, you know, terminologies that are not going to help us heal. And it's like, yes, I've made mistakes. I didn't know what I know now.
mm,
Knowing what I know now, I'm not going to make that same mistake. However, I'll probably make other mistakes. I
mm.
call that being beautifully flawsome. As you take a
Lovely
cup
way to put it.
that's been broken
Yeah.
up, you glue all the pieces together with self-love. And now
Mm,
it becomes a stronger cup than it ever was. All right.
yes.
And people see you as cracked or, but you're still functional. Yes, we're
Mm,
all flawed. We've all made mistakes. We've all made just choices, but we made them for what we knew in that moment.
yeah.
Right.
Yes. And I'm certain, Sarah, that one of the keys to this is intention. If
Mm,
we intend, if I intend to do something to you which is harmful to you,
yeah,
then I will bear,
yeah,
not you, I
yeah,
will bear the consequences of
yes,
that intention. But if there's no intent involved, I think it's completely we've it's these events have occurred out of ignorance, shall we
yes,
say,
yes.
a lack of knowledge,
A lack of
to put
knowledge,
it better.
a lack of
Yeah.
knowingness.
Yes. Yes. There you go.
But again, if you are in tuned with the knowingness within the now, again, you're not going to say the things that you would have said of just being the human and not being the being along with it, because again, you're operating from that human ignorance or arrogance, right?
Mm,
But when you come from the soul truth, to say something nasty about someone is oh, that hurts. And it
mm,
is a reflection on who you are and the work that you still have to do on yourself. Now, that doesn't
yes.
mean we can't critique actions, right?
Hmm.
Don't
Hmm.
critique the person because they're in that space where that's all they know.
Yes.
Critique their actions and help them move away from that action into a more
Yes.
progressive, productive, and peaceful action. But
Yes.
we're inclined to always critique the human and, you know, tear and quarter them and everything else. And it's living with guilt is something that many people have. And it's
Mm,
like at some point you do have to let that go. You
yes.
you know, you're not there anymore.
Hmm.
You are now here. And
Yes.
it's in this very moment which will define your next moment of what your action or thoughts will be.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, I heard a beautiful saying just a week or so ago was that that person does not need your judgment. They
Yes.
need your light.
Yes. Yes. Because when we shed light
Mm,
on, that action was done out of a reaction.
hmm.
And when
Hmm.
you look at the reaction and really look at where it's coming from, then
Yes.
you will know that action was not valid. But it's the
Yes.
willingness. You can't help anyone without free will. You can't help any. So say you could take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Don't make them drink.
Leave it
Yes.
there long enough and it will find out it's thirsty.
Yes, a beautiful way to put it.
We have to
Yeah.
expose people to it. We can't dictate. They
Hmm.
have to take this journey out of free will. But the more we illuminate it, the more we
Mm,
show the path, the more intrigued they get,
mm.
and the more they step into that ignition of the heart and soul
Yeah.
when they're
Yes.
ready. But if you make our grass as green as we know it to be, they're going to
Yes.
eventually want to come over here.
Yeah.
But they've got to do
Yes.
the work, though,
Got to do
right?
the work. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. One of the laws, Sarah, again, let me find it
Yeah,
for
I
you,
like
which
these
is
laws. Keep
pertinent.
reading them.
They're called laws, aren't they? Um, where did it go? Where did it go? We are all one in spirit. What you have done to another, you do to yourself.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if we live by that principle, to
Yeah.
know that we are one in spirit
Yes.
in the heavenly realm, so I know that if what I do to you in service comes back to me.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
I
And that's
harm
that's
you in some
yeah.
way,
Yeah, and I'm going to harm myself,
yeah,
right?
there you
Yeah.
go. That's
Yeah,
it.
because it may not be I'm hitting you and you're going to hit me back. No, the harming is the consequences of that hit,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
that's
you're
right.
dealing with those consequences. And that's when you're saying, when you state in a state of higher vibration of love, you
Yes,
can't do that because you
yes,
know what those consequences are. You've got to own your choices and your consequences. Um,
yes.
and to know that. And when I like the four agreements. Do you like the four agreements? Speak, Donru. It's beautiful. The four agreements are um, speak from a loving intent, right? Speak
Mm,
your word truthfully.
yes, yes.
Don't assume. Assumption is a killer. Ask.
Mm,
How can you make an assumption over something you don't understand?
mm,
Ask to
mm,
understand it. Don't assume. Um, do your very best based on what you feel is your very, very
mm,
best, not measured by somebody else. And don't take things personally. When
mm,
somebody comes and attacks on you, they're reflecting on you what
mm,
they're feeling. It's not really about you, it's about them.
mm-hmm.
Wish
Them.
them well and love,
hmm
right?
There you go.
And don't respond.
But isn't that interesting, Sarah? What we're talking about is the knowledge we gained or have
Mm.
gained about what happens in the afterlife when we pass,
Yes.
we apply to now in the physical that makes life such a more profound, fulfilled place.
We call it the afterlife, but it's an extension of life. We're calling it the afterlife because it's after this vessel.
hmm
But the sole intent and the sole truth and the sole journey is in infinite. It has no
Yes,
beginning or end. So the
yes,
afterlife is you're stepping back home into the
mm,
universal love and truth
yes.
that is heavenly, right? And when we talk about
Absolutely.
heaven on earth, we create, or hell on earth. Um, Hell is a place that you put yourself in when you're living in anguish or fear
hmm
or greed or opulence. That is the
hmm
hell you've put yourself in. The heaven
Yes,
is living in that divine, peaceful state of being that comes
yes,
from the universe. So the afterlife is a continuum of life.
yes, 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 yes. Isn't that interesting? Uh,
Mm.
another law, Sarah, that
Hmm.
relates directly to that. What you have cause to affect in your fellow man is what declares your place in heaven.
Mm. Yeah,
That's a bit interesting. If that does not dissuade one from doing bad things to others, I
exactly.
don't know what does.
Well, I had somebody else who is a bridge gapper, and she has many souls working with her on the other end. And she would say, souls that have not got it right this time round, they go to soul school,
Mm,
right? And they've got to go to soul school to understand where they went wrong because they
mm.
then have to turn around and be in service again.
Yep.
But they can't be in service in the state of being they're in. So they have
Yes,
to
yes,
go to
yes,
soul school and face
yes.
those consequences and, you know, because otherwise they can't be of service to anyone else again.
There you go. Yeah. Interesting, must tell you, what I saw in the writing of the book was, after we pass, we go through these mists where one does the life review. You see everything that you've thought, done,
Yeah.
all your actions are in that life review. And what I saw was picture this, I'm standing on top of a hill looking down on a dale of these mists, and these mists had a portal, and these
Mm.
souls were exiting this portal. And some were they're dressed in these robes, like neck to toe robes, and shimmering colors of
Hmm.
all different kinds.
Because they are light.
Well, that's right. But some were dressed in like beautiful white color, blues,
Mm. Mm.
magnificent shimmering colors, and others were robed in darker Hessian browny colors. And what I saw was that the souls had to follow a pathway that was uniquely theirs. So those souls that were dressed in like the shimmering, beautiful whites went up a level, and others, the darker colors, had to follow a pathway more downwards.
Right.
But you could not choose a pathway that you thought you were entitled to.
Right.
You had to follow the pathway that was yours.
Yes. Yes. I always say to people, you know, get your act together in this lifetime because you don't want to exit with any garbage. Because you're just going to
Absolutely.
bring that garbage forth in the future. So,
Yes.
um, it kind of I don't know if you ever remember that movie, Defending Your Life. Back a
I
90s
don't
movie.
recall that.
Um,
No.
um, two famous actors were in there. Anyway, they both die. One dies heroically saving the children and the cat, and another one dies in his new BMW with his 8 track, picking up, putting in the DVDs or whatever, and he goes straight into another vehicle. And
Mm,
he's being kind of more on the taking advantage of side
mm,
rather than giving. And
mm,
but they were there to defend their life, to know. which bus they were going to go on,
Yeah.
which window they were going to go through. So um, it kind of is like that. You're defending your actions. And yes, we all
Mm.
make mistakes, but again, it's what do we learn from those mistakes? And how have we seeked not to repeat them, but to help others avoid them too?
Yes, there you go. Therein, and therein lies the designation of purpose, service to others.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
and
what we're
which
here for, right? We're
that's why
here
we're
to be
here.
service
Yep.
to each other. And,
Yep.
we're all here to contribute. We're paying
Hmm.
rent, right? We're paying rent with our action. We're paying rent with who we are as an essence. And we're all here to serve one another with the
Mm.
gift that we've been given. You were given the
Yes.
gift of writing, and that has been your um, uh, the word has gone. It just went over there. That has been
Uh,
your, there was a different word to gift. It will probably come back, but
uh,
that is what you were chosen for,
mhm,
right? And yes, you
mhm.
said you wrote this book when you retired. You had to have some of the life experience that you've had in order to write this book to understand what it is you were writing.
Oh, I think that's an absolute, Sarah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, no doubt about that. And also, it was as I mentioned before, it was a burden of choice.
Mm,
I could have chosen to plant tomatoes and said no
yes.
more, and that would have been okay. Fine, Stephen. Good for you. Pat on the head. But no, no, this is not the way it has to be.
No.
We've been given a divine
Yes.
a gift, and the gift is yes, we use it for ourselves to betterment of those that we love and our kin and
Yeah.
our community and the like, but we become of service. We spread the word, shall we say,
Yeah.
and that's our job.
And it's not just, spreading the word of God. It's Gus, God, universe, spirit, energy, source, whatever universe, whatever
Hmm.
you want to call it. It's
Hmm.
tapping into a divine presence that is stronger, wiser, and more truthful than we are.
Yes,
And it is that,
yes,
as I said, it's that compass and that generator. It
yeah, yeah,
generates love. The more love we step into, the more we generate love.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the more we give away, the more we get. And with that compass of to do good, to serve one another with good
Hmm.
intent, from the
Mm.
heart and
Mm.
the soul, the spirit knows what action it needs to do. It's waiting to
Yes,
get into action, right?
absolutely.
It knows exactly
Yes.
what to extract from this noggin of ours of what
Mm.
tools it needs from there to apply. We've just got to get out of our own way, which is
Hmm.
the fear. Um, the we don't see energy around us, right? We plug things in, we think that's the energy we're talking about. No, there's absolutely measurable energy all around us all the time. We are
Hmm.
energy. Every single living thing has an energy signature, right?
Hmm.
And it's what frequency is it resonating on? And the higher
Yes.
the frequency, the higher the love, the higher the caring, the kindness, the compassion, the empathy is. And that is the feeling to know what you need to
Mm.
do rather than
Yes.
dictating what you know to try and get the feeling.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And my understanding is that, I mean, the soul can't fill a
No,
vessel that is already full.
right.
If the mind's going agog and
Yes.
thinks it's got control and it's egotistical or whatever, it's going to be empty.
Yes.
This because it's a listening process, not a
Yes.
thinking process.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that surrender
Hmm.
because when you are step into the feeling of the thoughts, you are actually stepping into almost like a production because now
Hmm.
you see everything, whether you're an auditory or visual or, kinesthetic or,
Hmm.
writing it, it is then taking that beautiful
Mm.
understanding and using it because that's the beauty of it. We make it so hard on ourselves every day on decisions, and I got to do this, and society demands that. And when we give all of that up and simply allow, okay, universe, all right, I'm tired of doing it my way. It's uphill all the time. I'm exhausted. There's got to be something more. And then when you
Mm.
step into that, you may have equal the amount of work to do, but the
Hmm.
difference is you're going to be more productive. You're going to be more
Yes.
clear on why you're doing it and whom it's for. And you're
Uh,
also, it's not going to feel like work. It's going to be something you love doing.
yes. There you go. That's it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And interesting, these things that we talk about and share, if you learn these things when you're in your 20s,
Yeah.
hey, life becomes, you know, so we've got grey on the roof, and life becomes a little bit more relative than what it
Yeah.
was
Yes.
when we were 25 or 26. But if we uh, embrace these things at that age, oh my goodness, how fulfilled does life become?
Right. I'm sure we're both 70s people, in our 20s and the 70s. And of course, the
Yes.
70s movement was to be with love and community and unity. And how can we come together?
Mm.
Each one of us in our own light. How can we come together? And it was a beautiful surge of that, that then obviously humans weren't ready for it. But I think it's seeded. And this is the thing,
Yes.
all of these actions are seeding, ready for us to be ready. And even everything that's going on in the world right now is that seeding for us to rise up. The universe gave me a saying about 5 years ago. The universe is going to shake us up, to wake us up, for us to step up and change it up and grow up vibrationally, but also grow up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah,
And we're in
absolutely.
that. We're in that now.
Oh, more so than ever with all the things that are going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, the interesting thing for me, Sarah, too, is much of what we talk, all of what we talk about does not require any artificial stimulation, drugs, or any of that.
Yes.
This is completely accessible just by being, listening, being quiet, sitting
Yes.
10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's all there.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't
Wait,
require
that's the
any
thing.
artificial
It's
means.
silence is beautiful.
Hmm.
Right? Having those moments in your life where I drive to my daughter's all the time, and it's about an hour and 45-minute drive. I'm going over the Malahat Mountain, 32 feet, 100 feet up in the air, and, driving through town, seeing the lakes and the trees, and it's a beautiful drive. I don't want anything else there. I just let my mind drive. My mind is concentrating on the drive, but my spirit is just flowing,
Hmm.
and it's coming and telling me stories, or it's showing me pictures, or it's doing this and that. And it's just,
There you go.
we can't order it. A lot of people think that manifestation is that ordering it and the, Amazon delivery from the universe will come. Is that we do have to paint the picture of how we want to feel, not what we want to get, but how
Mm.
we want to feel.
Feel. That's the key to it. That's the absolute key to it. And we don't have to access that feeling from outside. It's
Yes.
already within us. So yeah, spend like we were talking about before, spend that 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a
Yeah.
morning, access the feeling, and there is your start to the perfect day.
Yeah.
Hey, you know something else which is really important? My wife loves me, and I'm a lucky man.
Yes, you are.
I am.
Just because we don't see that or hear that too often coming from a divorcee.
But one of the reasons I think she loves me is because I like to do the ironing.
Yeah, that would be
But
it.
that, but but that yeah, that
Yes.
chore
Yeah.
is metronomic.
Mm.
You're just sort of doing your thing, and the mind just
Yes.
drifts off. It's
Yeah.
not engaged on thinking anything. And like often you're sort of doing the ironing and you go, oh, that's interesting. Got that
Yeah.
inspiration. So even when we're doing things of a metronomic nature, yeah, that inspiration can still come in, and you know that it's a different feeling because you go, oh, I got that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I got, and away you go,
Yeah.
and that's your
Exactly.
spirit talking to you.
It's almost like a out of breath. Oh, I feel that.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
and
that's it.
and
Yeah,
the
got
thing
it.
is, you
Yeah.
get the feeling before you get the understanding of what you got,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
And
That's
then
it.
it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I feel this. What do you want me to do with it? And then you just get out and
uh,
do it, and that's the beauty of it. But
it's
yeah,
very
it's
interesting.
fine, like, with this network, and all these books that I'm putting out, I have an awful lot of admin stuff to do that is just,
Mm.
methodical. And so while I'm doing that, I like to have music in my ear, and the music lifts my spirit and takes it somewhere else. And while the brain is methodically doing what it needs to do, otherwise
Yes.
it'd be too much of a chore instead of just doing it while I'm taking a dance over here with the universe.
Hmm. Mm. Yeah, because that the mind, the monkey mind
Hmm.
is quietened down, and you just open.
Yes.
open to spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful place. This book has changed your life in the writing of it and in the revealing of it. And I'm sure each day it reveals something more to you, from a different
Hmm.
point of view, a different need. But
Hmm.
when you look at it where we are in the world right now, I mean, the reason you had to write it is because a book like this is needed. And where there's so many people kind of writing books or doing things that are awakening spirit and souls, and that's their gift, that's their platform. And
Yes.
everybody has one. This platform was chosen for you through books because you're the writer.
Hmm.
But everything comes at the right time. And so
Mm.
this book at this time, and it's not for the third dimensioners that are still angry and confused and everything else. It's the fourth, the fifth dimensioners that go, I'm beginning to understand. I want to apply. I'm now beginning to see what you mean. And
Mm.
that's how that book is helping people navigate through to that higher plane.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. And as we were talking about before, you get that aha moment
Yes.
from the reading of it. You go, oh my goodness, I got that.
Yeah.
And then that's like a door, that's a portal opening,
Yes.
and that's your truth being revealed.
Yes.
And therein
Don't
lies the
shut it down.
blossoming.
Don't shut it
No,
down.
yeah,
Once
don't
it's
shut it
opal,
down.
don't shut it down. That's the
Yeah.
important thing. And that's the thing about a book like this is that yes, you could read it from, beginning to end and there's a journey in there. And yes, I would say do that. Then reread it and
Mm.
maybe reread it at a different chapter. Don't
Mm.
start at the beginning again. Maybe just again, like as I said, open the book. What chapter is it on? What are the words there? And then
Yes.
go, and what do they mean to you in the present moment?
Yes. Yeah. Perfect way to read the book.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, particularly if with, as you say, so much strife going on, so many issues, problems that we have to face. I mean, we try to solve them ourselves
Yeah,
rather than connecting with the source and saying, how do I fix? What
right.
do I do?
Yeah.
Where do I go? And then you open the book to the page and you go,
Yes.
that's it.
Yep.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
that's it.
beauty of a book like that. Listening to the story, reading the story from beginning to end and understanding the person's journey is the reveal of um, a reflective journey in others, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then, but it's like, oh, but that was so poignant, or that few words stayed with me. I'm needing help. I'm confused.
Hmm.
I'm at my crossroads here. Where do I go? Universe, direct me. I surrender to your wisdom. And then, as I said, open the book and let
There
it
you
see.
go.
Because, it's like the guy on the roof, where all the floodwaters are coming up and say, God save me, God save me. And
Yeah.
God sends the boat, the
Yes,
helicopter,
yes,
and
yes.
everything else. And then when he gets up to heaven because he wasn't saved, why didn't you save me, God? I sent you a boat, I sent you a
Open
helicopter, I
it
sent you
up.
everything else, And it's that, we're so
Yes.
busy looking at things either literally or we're looking at things from the limited human mindset rather than the
Hmm.
divine set. Because in the
Correct.
divine set, nothing is impossible.
Yes.
All right, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, how hard
Hmm.
it is at the moment or how hard it's going to get.
Mm.
It the universe is going to take you through that if you're in trust and willingness and
Mm.
allow to come out the other side. And everybody I've interviewed that's gone through hell and back truly
Mm.
have had things happen to them that have been horrific. And they've
Yes.
said that going through that process of that transition, doing the work to come through on the other end, and
Hmm.
allowing the universe to take me and who I am today, doing what I'm doing today, is what that journey was for, is what that journey
Yeah.
was to show me to do. So a lot of people say, well, if God is love and all of that, why such bad things happen in the world? We have to understand that's the human choice. It's not the
Mm.
divine's choice.
Divine choice.
The
Hmm.
divine choice is for you to step into that high elevation of love. From
Mm.
there, you'll ascend to sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth dimension where you'll truly understand your
Hmm.
illuminated purpose here. But if we're looking at it from just that third dimension and just give me abstract or give me this and that, we're missing the message. We're missing the point.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely. And the interesting thing is, particularly in writing of this book, is, the flower blossoms. Uh,
Mm,
Prior to this, the afterlife, again, as I mentioned before, what do I know? Or what did I know?
yes,
But
yes,
that opens up. So you didn't know what you didn't know before, but the universe says, "Hey, Stephen, watch this.
Yes,
Get this into
exactly.
you."
Yeah. And that I think is if the human spirit lived in wonderment,
Mm,
exploration and wonderment, I've got so much more to know.
yes.
And universe guide me to whatever it is that's here to teach me. In
Mm,
doing these shows, I have learned so much
mm,
about how beautiful humanity can be,
mhm,
how much potential and ability we have, how our choices affect our lives and the lives around us. And it's just been an incredible illumination to me.
mm,
And I'm hoping to my audience as well, because
mm.
when you dive into something like this, we're talking to solutioners. Your solution to a particular equation right now is the book of Understanding the Afterlife, is a continual life that you're bringing back into the present life.
Mhm. Correct. Absolutely correct. And therein lies, to me, the book's greatest gift.
Hmm.
Not only makes our eternal life a better place, it makes our current life
Yes,
a far preferred place.
the
And not just
infinity.
for us,
Hmm.
yeah, but for those around us, our kin, our
Yes.
loved ones, our family, our community, or whatever, you know, the millions of people on your podcast, they get the kernel and the seed grows.
Mm, exactly. And it's the ripple effect. I've never been an ivory tower person. I don't like ivory towers. I find that too reliant on people's rooting and foundation, and you're too detached from them. And some way
Hmm.
that foundation is going to crumble and you're going to come tumbling around. I've been very much about the hands around the world.
Hmm. Hmm.
Rippling it out to the next hand and the next hand and the next hand, and igniting people along the
Yes.
way, and then that creating that infinity circle that is forever growing and expanding and allowing us to be. And I think we are in that state of being now. We need to kind of put the foot on the gas pedal, I think, a little bit
Yeah.
more. But I mean, that was the reason why you would downloaded this book, that you had to. Resistance was futile.
Mhm.
We're going to give you rotten tomatoes unless you write this. So, I'm
Yes,
sure now your
absolutely.
tomatoes are beautiful and juicy.
Yes.
Don't argue
Yes,
with
it
the
had.
universe, right?
No, no, absolutely not. No, I wouldn't deign to do that now.
Yeah.
I'd be too scared.
Yes, yes, because the universe is right and it's giving you something, at what you're meant to do in the now.
Yes.
And just if we just, stop complaining, it's like, but why now? I mean, the universe does this to me all the time. I try and pace things. And what it
Mm.
does, it backs it all up and has it overflap each other. And it's like, yeah, I know that I do well in chaos, but you don't have to make it so
No,
chaotic.
see, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like as we were saying before, it's that beautiful flow, it's that energy flow, and we can sometimes feel ourselves out of that flow,
Yes.
and life becomes a bit turbulent, or we could even try and swim against it, God
Yeah.
forbid. But
Uh-huh.
if we become part of that flow, it becomes a state of non-doing,
Yes.
trust.
Yes. Yes. Non-doing.
Non.
You're just doing, you're just being who you're meant to be at the
Mhm.
time. And that's
Mm.
the thing about it is just being who you are in the moment. And then you're
Yes.
actually understanding why you're here. Because, the people say, but then you're not taking charge of who you are and you're not owning who you are because you're just letting, God, dictate everything. No,
Mm.
we still have the choice of what we do with that wisdom. All it is that beautiful compass that shows us how to bring the best quality out of a human being to go and do in your beingness. So it is a partnership.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Um, one last law of heaven and earth,
Yes,
Sarah, because let me just find it here. Ah, in heaven, there is no system of debit or credit. Service to others is our reason for being.
yes. And
So
love
if
is the
that's in heaven,
currency.
yeah, absolutely. Yes, it is. Yes, it is
And
indeed.
again, we've attached too much to material things and money and self-importance and titles and how many likes and everything that we have, that we are, forgetting the importance of just being the beautiful instrument that you are,
Yes,
and keep on playing, because somebody
yes.
who needs to hear you. People say, "Who listens to your shows?" And I said, "All those that are ready to receive."
Yes.
It's out of my
Yes.
hands who listens, when they listen, how
Yes.
they listen, what they get
Yes.
out of it. I have no control over that. But
Ah,
it will be there when they're ready to receive.
there you go. I was at a book fair a couple of months ago, and this lady came up and she picked up the one of our books, and she says, "Oh, I've read that. That's magnificent. It's one of my second or third book or something. Oh, I've done this and I've done that, and it's made life this and made." I had no idea who this nice lady
I
was,
know. Yeah, no,
but
so you mean
the,
we don't always know, do we?
yeah, we don't know. So that's the kernel, the acorn that's
Yeah.
going into the oak
But
tree.
where's us quickly look at your other books? You've got The Bodies of Consequence, The Power and the Possible. You've got Letters Across Time, The Music
Mm,
of the Soul, The Book of
mm,
Testaments.
yes.
Is that it? Is that
That
all there is?
is that all? Well, yeah, yes. So far, although I've got to tell you, and I don't know the specifics yet nor time frame, but I can feel that next one coming.
Yes.
And my instinct says that I'm going to be shown a higher level
Mm.
wherever this last one was taken. There's more
Next dimension.
to be
Next
shown,
dimension.
next dimension.
Yeah.
But it's the seed, the itch hasn't quite grown to irresistible yet. But watch this space. So there's probably another one coming in the new
In
year.
2024, it's going to hit you in the springtime, and it will be out by fall,
Ah,
because that's what I feel. But also, I'm very enthusiastic about 2024. I think
ah,
it's going to be a huge energy surge of growth, of spiritual growth. Um, and it for all those that are still kind of on the fence, so to speak, or confused or don't quite understand what's going on, the truth is going to be revealed and they're going to understand why they're here. And I think we're going to see
yes,
a lot more of that. And for people like myself that have been in preparation, the full throttle of growth is going to be there now. And I think
mm,
I think it's going to be a very exciting year. So I think you'll be writing it um, for the people that have already, elevated
mhm.
beyond the afterlife and now the next level. Because, the more people we get on the fifth dimension, the better they've stepped into
Mm,
their meaningful purpose. But now we've got the sixth, seventh, eighth, the ninth, the tenth, and that means that you've got to transcend even more,
yes,
outside of, but it's still in partnership with the body, because this is always in partnership with the body while we have a body.
absolutely. As soon as I put pen to paper, I'll be dropping you an email and say, Sarah, I've started. Watch
Good,
out.
good, absolutely. And we will have another book to talk about, most certainly. I mean, I had a hard time writing my own, but I'm a more of a blogger or voice storyteller. Plus, I have dyslexia, so of course, I can't write by hand. I wouldn't be able to read it. So, I wrote it in 3 weeks,
Mm,
and then it just took a year to edit it, just for me to get time to do it.
mm,
To read it. Do I want that in there? Take that out, put this in, and then my brother, who's an author and a literary master, went and edited it from there. But it took a while to do all that other side of it. But every time I reread it, it was like, gosh, I know I did that, but it's
where
like,
did it come from?
where
Yeah.
did it come from? And
Yeah.
it's like, and then it was like, well, this half of my life I haven't really gone into too deeply. I've kind of, skimmed on it with a few things. And I thought, yeah, because that's in a lot of ways of how I felt about my life. I was skimming
Yeah.
over my life rather than living it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I found it quite a reveal when I was reading it back again. And I'm sure when you've written any of your books, it's always been, like a really, really, I can't remember.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so, that's
That's
the thing. If to other people, whether you're a writer or not, is that whether you just record something, press record
mhm.
and speak, don't think, just speak,
Yeah.
or do the same thing with writing. Yeah, not dear diary, I did this today, but this is how I felt. This is and a feeling took me down. This feeling took me up, because that awareness means you're going to feed the up rather than the down.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
get
Yes.
it down, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing is that you're never too old.
Never.
I was 51 before I put pen to first book, and I'd never written anything before. Business reports, that's about
Right.
it. And so you question yourself, oh, but they follow the urge, the instinct to
Yes.
write was so profound. We've got to follow it, and
Yeah,
here
well,
we
that was
are.
the with me, with people were asking for it, and yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it was just like I took 3 weeks off podcasting in August because it's generally holiday time for people anyway, and just wrote it. And then, as I said, it's the other rereading of it. The book I'm doing for the Forgotten Children much easier because my brothers edited them, but also the chapters that
Mm,
easy to read them reading your own. Although I put one in there, but I mean that's the thing is that the oldest person I've had on here was 92, and she has her own TV show, and that was probably 2 years ago. So she's 94, still doing it, and at 90 she took a new lover. So nothing is ever too late in life, right? So the thing is
uh,
how old are we allowing ourselves to be, and are we using that as an excuse?
mm,
Right. And I think that um, the beauty of getting older, because I started podcasting at 57. I didn't even know what a
mm,
podcast was, and I was on a different network, live, great training ground, and then started 10.5 years my own network. Still didn't know what I was doing, just learned as I went. And the thing is, step into life, into wonderment. You don't know how courageous you are. You don't know how strong you are. You don't know your abilities. You don't know your resilience and your tenacity until you
yes,
start walking forward.
yes,
And it will reveal truly who you really are and what you're capable of doing.
yes, absolutely. And what that's wonderful because what that is an absence of fear.
Yeah.
Because you know as well as I, when you put pen to paper and publish a book, you're opening yourself up to mm, brickbats of others that may not like your work and some
Yes.
feedback, but so be it,
Like
So
Don Ruth saying, don't take it personally.
no, no,
Right? If I've even put my thing. If you want to make comments, but bashing, thank you, keep that to yourself. You know, uh,
yeah,
it's out there now, and people, aren't you promoting? I've done some promotion on my side, but it wasn't about that. I'm not looking to be number one bestseller. I'm not looking, to for the big glory of it. It's there if people are
mm,
interested, that free will again. But your book is something that needs to be out there because people are looking for something right now that makes sense. They're
mm,
looking for something to try and understand. And for most certainly, I think for a lot of religious people that don't believe in their religion anymore, but
mm,
believe in what religion is meant to mean, I
mm,
think this book is a wonderful transition into evolving into that beautiful spirit awareness. Um,
yes.
without kind of the human religion attached to it. So I think it's a great book for that.
Yes, thank you for that. And that's interesting because I'm sure that that foundation of love through the religiosity is also, it's like the lotus that opens
Yeah.
up. You have that belief in God and the
Yeah.
love that he or she uh, 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 that gives us and sends us. But wait, there's more. Here it
Yes.
is. So
Yes.
it opens up
Yeah.
from that crucible,
You're
from that kernel.
bypassing the priest, you're bypassing the church, you're going direct,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
in that direct, you open up to that. God has been talking to you all your life, and you were letting it go to your spam box,
Yes,
right?
great way to great way to put it.
So
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
time to tune in and listen because
Yes.
you don't just listen on a Sunday, with the
No.
sermon preaching. This is something you are
Mm,
24/7. This is
mm,
something that you become in the essence of who you are, and you bring that essence of who you are in that divine truth to everything you do.
everything.
And you
Yes.
say, so it's not a doingness, it's a beingness.
Yes. Shine your light. You're the light
Yes,
on the hill. Yeah,
exactly.
that's it. That's it. And
Exactly.
then, yeah,
So,
beautiful.
my darling, so will you please tell us where people can get your books and where they can find you and if people got questions for you or anything else, can they get hold of you? What is it?
Yes, yes to all of the above. The best place to access the book is obviously through your book depositories, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. All of those platforms have got it, paperback or 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 ebook, either one. And if they would like to access the laws of heaven and earth, all they're on my website free of charge, just downloadable.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's www.stephen with a ph, stephenchong.com.au/downloads.
Right. I'm
So
going to
just
spell the
go
Steve again,
H
Stephen,
mhm,
right? Uh,
CHONG.
right. And don't forget the .com AU
AU.
For
Yes.
Australia
Yeah.
folks, okay?
That's
Um,
it.
and download those things. I think it's actually a great idea to download it and kind of put it on your fridge. And
Hmm.
which
That's
one
it.
is calling to you today? It's something that people, everybody can go back exactly.
I've got it on my fridge.
Excellent. And it's just like randomly look, okay, what's speaking to me today? And a sentence will jump out,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
thing. Allow the universe to speak to you in the way that it speaks to you. It puts things in front of you and in your way
Hmm.
all the time. But you've got to be uh, um, able to see it and hear it and feel it. And if
Hmm.
you're so busy plucking your head with shoulds, coulds, can'ts, this and all of that, then you're not going to get the message, right? Until you
Hmm.
get the cosmic 2x4. And then the cosmic
Yes.
2x4 has you fall off your roof, all right, and
Hmm.
has you lying on your back for
Hmm.
months while you're trying to recover. And then I
Hmm.
call it, then it's like that redirect, and you understood the redirect that you needed to take. But you probably
That's
would not
exactly
have
right.
taken it at all unless the cosmic 2 by
Hmm.
4 came along and showed you. So we
That's
try and
exactly.
make you avoid the cosmic 2 by 4, folks.
Yes, we don't need the 2x4. No, not at
No.
all. It's all there waiting for us.
Yes, it is. And so we can just need to open up to it. So you see his book in the back here for people that are listening. I know I'm looking a bit hazy now because it's night here for me, and when we go dark, the lighting goes peculiar. So, but um, so stephenchong.com.au. And you can see everything there. And his books are on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and elsewhere. And of course, on his site, he has all of his books there. So all of them. So
That's great.
remember, I know we're past Christmas, but a book is a great gift to give to people at any time. You don't need any excuse to give a gift of a book. And a book is something that keeps on giving. Whether you've read it once, whether you've read it a dozen times, it will always give you something different. And whether you just open up to an excerpt of it and go, that's what I needed to know today. A right book is always going to be your guidance system as well and tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. So thank you so much, Stephen.
Sarah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm so glad that we're able to overcome the obstacles of
Yes.
of our scheduling issues.
Yes, and well, like you had a cyclone, then you had a
Loss
rainstorm,
of power,
and then you had a loss of power. My computer went down, and so this was what the
yeah,
fourth attempt, but we
yeah,
finally got here, right? So,
yeah.
and
Well,
that's the
well, I've got to
thing.
tell you, we had 2 meters of water in 4 days.
Oh,
2 meters.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
that's it. It's all or nothing, and this is the thing with the planet is we've got to understand our planet is out of sync right now, and it's out of sync because we're out of sync. And the quicker we get our frequency and our vibration into that state of love and harmony, we're going to bring that equilibrium back to the planet. So all Mother Earth is just absolutely sick to death with us right now. And that's why she's playing droughts one place, fires another, and
uh,
rainfalls another, and cyclones and hurricanes and all of that. So let's be nice to Mother Earth and rise up, change our frequency and vibration, and become part of the healing she needs, as well as all the humans on Earth.
beautiful.
Thank
Sarah,
you so
thank you from the
My
depths.
pleasure. Great way to start the new year off and to have everybody just change their mindset. So please, you don't have to wait for any special occasion to get the book. Go and get it, audio or book, and read it through, and then go back and just look at the chapters that are trying to tell you something because there's a reason for it. You read it once, it's there in your mind. You go back and reread certain aspects of it. Now you truly understand what it's trying to tell you. So get the book. It was given to you as a gift of knowledge, divine knowledge that you can apply to your life to make your journey in life a hell of a lot better. So thank you, Stephen, and to everyone else
Thank you,
out there.
Sarah.
Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration, it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.